reason why it got so big is that they did that boy like that. They shot him in the top of his head, left him out there, disrespected him. The people rose up, and the local police was so disrespectful that the people just took over the town.
Since I'm in a position to talk to these kids and they listen, I ain't no politician, but I trapped and did go to prison. Now I'm caught up in a system where the motive's apparent. I'm just a product of the apartments probably built for my parents or my parent, but who caring? They planted gold figure. Cop killing me, just a nigga. We protest gorillas.
I think what really kicked it off or really made people angry, man, is the police.
Shoot him all in his face and his chest and everything. I watched the man go down. Like, he just killed him. Period. It wasn't no trying to protect himself or nothing. He killed him. Police just shot this man for no reason.
You know, imagine somebody being killed and their response is to go bring German Shepherds and M16s out. You know, that's how they met the people. You're talking about a grieving mother screaming, crying in the street, and what they got is a K9 for her. People trying to see what's happening, like what's going on in their community. People that live right there. And they like, hey man, go get some M16s, man. Man, they was so disrespectful, man. I remember the same day, man, they allowed the dog to urinate in the very spot where Mike Brown's body was, hours after he was picked up. And I think they done raised people so bad that they was like, hey bro, we gotta do something. And it grew from there. You know, people was mad, people were chanting, people was yelling the first day. But that next day, August 10th, man, there was so many people, hundreds of people outside the police department, shutting down the press conference, the people banging on the door, stopping all that. No traffic coming through downtown Ferguson. It's just so many people doing everything, going everywhere, man. If they didn't have nothing, they couldn't do nothing. And we got with the family, we got with Mike Brown Sr. and the mother and the grandmother. She said, I want to do something to remember him. And I think this is key because that night, I don't know if it was planned or not, but we said, look, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock. We were out there for like 8 o'clock in the morning, like 3 o'clock. We basically did a whole shift outside. We told people, go home, rest, meet us in Canfield at 7 o'clock. Bring, we're all black. We thinking we mourning, And they show up to the vigil with, guns and stuff, walking, trying to pull up, telling people they can't park here, they can't come down here. It got to the point they cut the whole street off while we having the vigil, dog. People were so mad, man. Like, you tried to drive into Ferguson on that day, they stopped you. You can't even get off. They're like, we can't let you through West Florissant right here. It's like, no, you can't make a right. The city blocked. I'm like, I live in the city. Like, what you mean? The city don't exist no more? Like, I can't go home? They're like, well, I don't know what, get out park your car, walk. And so what you got, like, young cats, like, walking, like, man, it's crazy. You got old people mad. And after a while, all that bubbled up, all that attention, all that aggression that you getting, you like, shit, I'm gonna get some of this back, man. And I remember, man, it was something that shocked me. We walked up and they said, man, these young kids, they out here wild and they mad as hell at the police. The police got to saying something, man. People get to going back screaming at the police like, get your bitch ass out the car then. And I guess the police saw that they wasn't gonna get no win that day. And it was a young cat, man. He ran up in the store. I'll never forget it, man. He came out with a box of Amsterdam. He was like, we finna get this thing cracking tonight, dog. And then somebody ran up, got the cigarettes, all Newport, box after box after box. Then the homie went to the Quick Trip. And then the manager at the Quick Trip started talking smart. Like, what you mean, get out the store? I ain't got nothing to do. I don't care about none of that. Like, what you mean you don't care about none of that? You don't care about just dead black kids? Like, I don't care. I don't care. And then from there, cats started snatching stuff, and the employees ran out, and they burned down the Quick Trip, man. And it was just cracking after there. It was like boom, gas station, boom, corner store, boom, this, boom. People running up in the rim shop, dog. People going into the rim shop, coming out with like, they ain't even got the full set of rims. Cats coming out, they got two 24s on the back, some Dubs on the front the next day. Cats running into Walmart, getting book bags. Niggas come out. Man, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, it was probably the most freshest time you ever seen some cats protest. Niggas coming out, brand new J's, brand new tank tops and shit. Everybody had new sweatpants. Everybody like, yeah, cuz bottles popping for weeks on end, man. Everybody just drinking good, eating good, all of that, man. And so I just really want to say, you know, shout out to the police, man, for y'all being some fuck niggas on the first day. Y'all kicked off a whole revolution for a whole region, man. I appreciate y'all for being the fuck niggas. And then I appreciate the niggas who ain't nowhere near on no nothing, bro. They probably somewhere. Some of them cats probably locked up for some other shit. Some of them cats probably working some weak ass jobs. But if it wasn't for y'all cats, if it wasn't for us out there, it wouldn't be no movement. It wouldn't be no hashtags, no Black Lives Matter shit. It would have just been the same old tears for Trayvon, same old crybaby shit for somebody. This time people's like, hey, I may not be Mike Brown, but I'm Mike Brown today. Or I might be Mike Brown tomorrow. So before y'all get me, I'm gonna get your ass or some shit. That's really what happened in the first 48 hours, man. I think the first time we knew something wasn't right is when they wouldn't release the dude's name, Darren Wilson. Every day we was like, if ain't nothing wrong, then release the officer name. And it took some days, and then finally they released his name, man. It was like the officer name, and it was like I was weird. Somebody thought his name was like Mike or something like, you know, people like, you know how niggas be like thinking they like on Google trying to find every Ferguson officer and match it up, but it ended up being Darren Wilson, man. And so the first point was they didn't have his name, but the second they said his name at the same press conference is when they brought up that tape of him accusing him of strong arm robbery over some cigarillos. And we like, you dropped this shit at the same time you dropped the dude's name. And then they asked him, okay, if he robbed the store, did the officer know that he robbed the store? And the police chief was like, no. So they was like, why are you releasing the video?
I see. Now, seeing as you're a retired NYPD detective, was this another case of white officer killing a black teen? Or how strong of a role do you think race plays in this particular case?
Well, you have to understand that when we look at Ferguson, you know, there's some serious issues and questions that has to be raised with 53 cops, only 3 of them black, and 72% black community. I don't know what the racial makeup of Shaw County is, but it seems to be some serious issues with race down there that in St. Louis they need to look at. You know, the NYPD, the majority is minority now. When you throw all the minorities together, you know, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, East Indian, you know, the majority is now minority, and that's the makeup of the city of New York. And, you know, it breeds better policing in some cases.
And now, Patrice, I want to go back with you now. Being that St. Louis is already kind of a tinderbox, is this latest shooting just another thing for people from both sides to kind of exploit and use to their whatever subject that they're trying to push?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that we're looking at all of these shootings together for an important reason, because what happens on a national level when you incarcerate young black men at a rate as high as we've been incarcerating young black men in the United States is that the lines are not just racial at that point. We see a line between the people who have prior convictions and the people who don't, the people who are living in poverty and the people who have been placed in positions of authority, the people who are allowed to have guns and the people who face criminal charges if they have guns. And so to have this conversation about, you know, what happened between the people in the positions of authority and what happened to the citizen is an important conversation. And I think coming on the heels of the Michael Brown shooting, people are saying, look, we're not just going to take at face value what the people in positions of authority say anymore. We want a proper investigation, and we want this looked at like we would look at any other shooting death of any other human being with dignity.
We knew right then and there that not only was they gonna kill that young boy in the street, but they was gonna use the media to kill his character. At that exact point we say shit. I don't know if he robbed the store. I don't know what happened. But I know they going to some extreme lengths to put some dirt on this kid. Man, you know what? We might want to stay out here and stay on top of this shit and unturn every rock that we find, man. So that's what we did.
Hey, Ferguson is the first place I ever been, or that I know of in history, to stand up like they stood up. Well, nah, I can't say that because LA did it. Just like the tenacity in Ferguson residents. That's extremely empowering. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, a lot of people that just take it, lay down, complain about it, won't say nothing. You know what I mean? Well, they'll say something, but what good is saying something to some people who about that action? You know? So, I want to give a shout out to the whole St. Louis. Anybody that had anything to do with any of them protests, and especially like the first 48 hours of it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all went crazy, y'all represented, you know what I'm saying? And I actually got to see the police like be out there while they was doing the protest, and the police just sit back like, can't do nothing. Respect. So when y'all got spare time, y'all should really just go look up the whole Ferguson, the whole St. Louis area, just look at their history, man. And you'll like really get an understanding of how crazy it is out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm in Tampa Bay, in Florida. You know what I'm saying? On the last few episodes, I was in Atlanta, but you know, God has provided me with the way, so that's where I'm at right now. But since I've been out here, I still been finishing this docu-series. I still been looking up or researching the history of St. Louis with this whole racism thing. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis or Missouri being the last place to free their slaves. They really got some attitudes about that, man. You know what I'm saying? You can tell I was out there. While I was out there, I walked past a few white people, you know, because my mother taught me manners, you know what I'm saying? So anybody I walk past, if we close enough, I speak, how you doing? Or, you know what I'm saying? Now, some years ago, when I would have spoke and I ain't say nothing, I would have been like, man, fuck you, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, I got this from my mom. I just need to know who they are. If I walk past a white person and they speak, okay, he's cordial. You know what I'm saying? At least, at very least, he's cordial. If I walk past him and he don't speak, he's ignorant. He can keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Because I beat his ass. That's what's going on. But yeah, I really want to give a shout out to Ferguson for how courageous y'all are, man. You know what I'm saying? First 48 hours of that protest, y'all turned up for that boy, man. And, you know, you got their attention, you know what I mean? So, shout out with that. Still got 2 more episodes to go before we fully unturn this rock that's devastating St. Louis. You know what I mean? So, just keep your heads up, man. Watch the next episode. Vote for Mike Brown Mama as council. And change some shit, man. It sounded like some girls at the pool. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna go to the pool. I'm not sure if you guys know or not, but Mike Brown's mother is now running for city council. So, I'm gonna run her commercial at the end of this. Y'all go find that info. Make sure y'all get out there and vote. Because it's time for a change, man. It's time for a change. St. Louis, I'm rocking. You know what I'm saying? I'm Virginia. 2 times. They know that. You know what I'm saying? But I was just so devastated by y'all's history of this police versus the citizen stuff that I just felt like morally obligated. I had to contribute where I can contribute.
Almost 4 years ago to this day, I ran down this very street. And my son was covered in a sheet. It broke me, you know? It brought me down to my knees. It made me feel crippled, as if I could do nothing else anymore from that moment. But as time went on and I stayed surrounded by support and motivational people who knew what happened was wrong and didn't give up the fight, I learned to walk again. And this is one of my first steps, running for Ferguson City Council of 2019. This is so important to me, and I know a lot of people may ask what makes me qualified, but I'll tell you, if a mother had to watch her son lay in the street for 4.5 hours and watch a community be completely disrespected by elected officials that we elected, what would you do? You would stand up and you would fight it. I'm not going to give up. And when I'm elected, I will be the people's voice and not just the people's choice.
The reason why it got so big is that they did that boy like that. They shot him in the top of his head, left him out there, disrespected him. The people rose up, and the local police was so disrespectful that the people just took over the town.
I'm in a position to talk to these kids and they listen. I ain't no politician, but I trapped and did go to prison. Now I'm caught up in a system where the motive's apparent. I'm just a product of the apartments probably built for my parents or my parent, but who caring? They planted gold figure. Cop kill him, he just a nigga. We protest gorillas.